Hello, everyone. Welcome to more of the same thing. This is my round six matchup. Both of us are 2-3 at this point, so we're kind of feeling the pressure. I guess I should address it. Card Jockey versus No Limit, round three. So this is, at this point, it is half of my matchups are against No Limit, which is kind of to be expected, I suppose. I mean, No Limit. We kind of expected going in that No Limit would be the most popular deck in the tournament, and yet here we are. So I'm going second again. I didn't go over this. I haven't mentioned this yet, but in most of my matchups, I end up going second. I went first in the first game, and I will go first in the last game. But other than that, I went second every single time, which is a little unfortunate. Lion tends to want to go first in most matchups. I think the only matchup where I prefer going second, weirdly, is Diagram, which I may get into in the next matchup. Little spoiler, it is against Diagram. Um, but for the most part, Lion does want to go first, and it just feels like another kind of uphill, given how many punchlines I've missed, how many times I'm going second. It's just kind of, things really aren't kind of going my way. Also, I haven't mentioned this yet. My opening hand, I have a good dig, which I'm casting right now. I had Cercinus, I had two Lancelot, and an Arcwin. I have no level ones at all. So again, as if things weren't bad enough, it kind of feels like everything's kind of piling on me at this point. Just looking to get something pulled, cobbled together to get me some wins. If you're not super familiar with the format of the tournament, it's 7 rounds. The top 64 gets the playmat that everyone wants. So the only way to guarantee that is to go 4-3, and the two of us right now are 2-3. So we basically have to win each of our last two games to have it to guarantee the playmat. So quick recap, relatively standard. My Alphard revealed a Cercinus, so that doesn't matter. He had no life bursts. He did hit a Deafening Inferno at the wrong time, which was not able to hit anything. So grows into Hirana level 2. Other than that, it's been pretty standard for the most part. He left one of his lanes open in round one, which is a little unfortunate, but I was happy to take advantage of that. I mean, this is kind of the turn. These are the turns that I want to see. Like, I'm done with turn one. He's down to 4 life cloth. I was able to get the full 3 damage in. I'm on pace for being in a good spot once the punchline turn happens. So I'm feeling okay about this, even though I had no level ones in my opener. I was able to kind of recover from that. So we're gonna see and hope everything turns out for the best. So he plays the Akino to bounce my I believe it was a Zhao back to my hand. Lancelot will come in to vanish the Alphard. So now he's got again full 3 lanes. Basically, the kind of gameplay you expect is the no limit slash card jockey players got full lanes. The other one does not. My first life burst happens to be amino acid, which will save me from 1 damage. It does enercharge me as well, which is kind of nice. So the Lancelot damage gets blocked. He attacks into Gauche, which does not do anything because his Signy are too small, which is fine. I've talked about if I had swapped Gauche for Tobiel. In that case, it would not have mattered. Um, so I do guard his Haran attack. So I'm feeling okay. I'm at 5 life cloth. He's at 4, so I'm a little ahead, which makes sense because I attacked first. But the fact that I'm still ahead after his first attack, he had the full 3 attacks versus my 2, so I'm kind of feeling okay. I know I have 2 Lancelots in my hand because I opened with them, so I'm hoping to potentially get a full field clear, which I could with Love Assist, which is looking like I'm moving into that right now. So Love It comes out. It doesn't necessarily matter what I vanish here because I know I have 2 Lancelots. Everything he has is like 5k or less. I'm not familiar with the third. It's got a Lancelot Percival. I don't remember what the third card is, but it's another one that's susceptible to Lancelot. So there they are. Just clear the field. This looks familiar, doesn't it? I've actually considered not uploading this one, but there are some stuff later on that's really interesting, kind of how it all shakes out. So I do bring out a Zhao, potentially for defense, but I think we all know that with Infernos and all kinds of stuff, there's ways to get Zhao off the field. So I do pass to attack step. Looks like he's going into Akino bye bye. I've already bounced my my Signy to hand, my Zhao. I think he's thinking about actually going into Ray as well, which he does. So he goes into Ray. He sends a Lancelot to the bottom of the deck. So at this point, even though I've just lost two of my attacks, I'm actually feeling really good because both of his assists are now level two. So what I know basically is that he doesn't really have any interaction left in the tank. So Lancelot goes in, no life burst. Lion goes in, no guard. Um, can't see what that is. That is a life burst, but he vanished my Lancelot. So thankfully Lancelot had already gotten the attack in. So my board is empty, but he's got two cloth left. He's used both of his level two assists, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I know that all I need to do is kind of hit a punchline and maybe have a PRJ stick, and I'll be in pretty good shape to close it out. So he's going to grow into Hirana. The other thing I need to think about, though, is he does have his Hirana once per game turned on already, which may be a problem, but I have so much life cloth. I mean, if I. Yeah, actually, I mean, there's no way for him to actually win this turn, pretty much no matter what, unless he has some double cloth Signy or some double crush Signy, just because I have too much life cloth. That even if nothing goes my way and I don't play any assists, which I actually have, the resources to do so, um, I don't think there's anything he can do to win this turn, which is great because that I don't usually, doesn't go that far. So he's gotten two arc wins out. He's kind of doing some filtering through there. Those are generally a problem for this deck. Um, Lovett can kind of take care of them a little bit. Like once Lovett can do one of them, basically, when she grows into Crossfade. But otherwise, there's no real good way for me to get rid of them other than like a chandelier or just attacking into them type of thing. Like they just dodge. I mean, just being 12k in general, they dodge a lot of removals, but I have to be careful and do it on my turn potentially. So he's got two arc winds and a Focalore. This is one spot where the fact that he grew so quickly into level two actually is a little scary because now he's got huge bodies on his board, and I think that he's doing the once per game here and the glory grow. So a lot of things happening. So I'm at this point I'm kind of checking the math here, trying to figure out do I grow into Crossfade or not. I won't. I don't have enough to pay for the crush for sure. Um, I've kind of checked because I can take the three Signy hits. I can take the once per game, and I'd still have one cloth left over. Um, even if basically if I take all the damage and don't save any of it, I still have one life cloth left when Hirana's attack actually goes in. So I opt to not play the crossfade because I know I can I can even theoretically save a damage on this. I mean I'm hitting hitting no life burst. So I actually take the hit on the guard on the once per game just because again, double crush doesn't matter if I have a life cloth left, basically the double crush part of it is wasted. So I actually do take the hit to gain an extra enter and potentially get a life burst hit on, which ended up not mattering. The good dig that I'm resolving happened on um, the initial um, the what's it called, the once per game ability attack. So I have no cloth left, but I'm actually still feeling pretty good about it because again he has no assists. So I play Lion level three, so I can get my punchline stuff ready. I'll do her enter ability. He's got two cloth. I don't know what he's got in his hand. I don't know if there's any effects he can use. He can potentially like Xenocluster to find a guard or something like that. He only has one enter. Nothing I can really do vanishes any of his Signy except for Crossfade. So I can't, even if I wanted to clear his board, I really can't. So I actually can't give him enter that way as well. So I go into PRJ. Looks like I do opt to pay for it. I believe in this case, trying to like peek through, I see a good dig, a PRJ, and something else. I think in this is one where I opt. Yeah, I actually fail to find just because I know I really need to hit the punchline. So I keep all three of those cards in there, even though I could actually pull two of those out and put them in my hand. I opt not to, because to me they're more valuable in the deck. This is another instance where the fact that I did not crossfade is actually hurting me a little because I cannot play two PRJs. I don't have enough limit to play two PRJs. So I play a Percival and I play a Lancelot, um, just as bodies. I pay four for the Silent Assassin. This is another instance where facing those huge bodies is really important, that I can actually get that extra damage in. So the Silent Assassin will give Percival and PRJ Assassin. I'm doing the punchline for sure. And we are moving to attacks, I believe. I don't think there's anything I have left to do. Yeah, so his last Elrig deck is a Xeno Cluster. So PRJ goes in, and he servants, and we'll see what he pulls back. I'm still feeling pretty good at this point. Because my Percival has Shadow, or has Assassin, so Percival's getting in for sure. He pulls back a Lancelot into his hand to potentially clear out my field. So Percival goes in. He flips into another Servant. So he's really kind of setting himself up for the next turn if he survives that long. He's got 3 enter. All I need to do is flip a 2, and this is game over. So it's looking pretty good at this point. Just got to get the shuffle in. I kept those. Thank God I kept those 3 cards. Those 3. It was 2 3s and a spell. It was a good dig, a PRJ, and I forget what. I think it was a Chandelier. So I ask him, where do you want to cut it? He tells me when to stop, type of thing. Flip, and oh, it's Alphard. Oh, so again, this is one where I absolutely had to win if I flipped anything other than a 1. And the most brutal of whiffs. He has a guard in hand. He has to pay the 2, otherwise he loses. But it does mean that all of a sudden now I'm on the ropes right now. He's used all of his stuff, so he doesn't have his Glory Girl. He doesn't have his 1 per game. But I need to survive through this turn somehow. I have 3 enter, so I can crossfade for sure. I obviously don't need to pay for the crush at this point because he has no life cloth, so it's a crossfade for sure. Maybe he can give me enough enter to use Mirage, but I was just like, come on. It feels like those whiffs come at just the worst possible times. This one and the round 1. Those were the only 2 times I flipped a 1, and they felt the most crippling. I was just like, because I had it, anything other than a 2 or higher, and I have them. So he has 2 Infernos, so he's going to clear out both of my Signy, which is unfortunate. So I'm at 5 enter, which is actually the magic number for me right now, because I can play Crossfade, I can play Mirage, and hopefully he doesn't have any other tools at his disposal. He's got a ton of cards in hand, unfortunately. So basically, I just need to hope that he kind of gets ready to go. And he does. He moves to attack, and I know, okay, I got him. So crossfade to vanish. Doesn't really matter which one I vanish. I think I vanished the Arcwind. Yeah, so Arcwind's gone. I pay the 3 for Mirage. So that puts PRJ at 17k, and that was able to vanish the Focalore in the open lane. I think I don't remember if he's used the once per game or not at this point. I don't remember if he used it on the last turn, honestly. So he just attacks. Oh, there's the once per game because he's downing him. I have a guard for the once per game, and I actually do have a second guard for the outright attack. And he opts to scoop it up at that point because he's got 2 open lanes, and there's nothing he can do to stop me. He has no interaction, so all I need to do is play any Signy and just swing in for the win. So that was just a rough round, I think, for both of us in general. Obviously, he was feeling the frustration at that point, but I was kind of along with him, especially once I flipped that 1. But the Silent Assassin won it. I wanted to feature this game because, again, kind of the weird cards I'm taking in. Silent Assassin got me through the 2 Arcwind wall. The Wolf Mirage the fact that it cost 3, so I actually could play that as an interaction and also open a lane. It was a really good game to kind of see where I was going with those 2 cards and how they interact with the board, and um, it was just a good showing for those cards in particular. It shows that even if I completely miss my punchline and basically do nothing out of it, that I could kind of use those options to potentially secure the win, which I did. So 3-3 at this point. We got 1 round left. If you paid attention to all my videos, you probably know what happens as far as the result is concerned. But I will say it is a very, very good game. It's well worth the watch. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one. And see you there.